One of these plants may already be growing beside your kitchen door. Another may be sitting inside a bottle labelled natural. And one has been mistaken for an ordinary edible leaf, even though its chemicals can disturb the rhythm of the human heart. These are 13 familiar plants that can become dangerous when we identify them incorrectly, swallow the wrong part, or turn a traditional herb into a concentrated product. Number 1 is the most deceptive of all. Its chemistry helped lead medicine toward a real heart drug. That did not make the plant safe. It proved how powerful it was. This video is for educational purposes and does not replace medical or veterinary advice. Do not taste, brew, or crush an unknown plant to identify it. If you think a person or animal has swallowed something toxic, contact your local poison centre, emergency service, veterinarian, or animal poison service immediately. Do not wait for a complete list of symptoms, and do not try to fix the problem with another home remedy. Now picture an ordinary backyard. There is a flower bed near the fence. A few culinary herbs grow beside the kitchen. A child is collecting berries in a plastic cup. The dog is chewing something near the shed. Nothing looks unusual. That is exactly why mistakes happen. Poisonous plants do not arrive with warning labels tied around their stems. They can smell pleasant. They can produce beautiful flowers. Some have names linked with healing. Others resemble food closely enough to fool someone who has gathered plants for years. We like to divide plants into two simple groups: helpful plants, dangerous plants. Nature never agreed to keep them separate. A chemical can be useful when it is purified, measured, prescribed, and monitored. The same chemical inside a leaf from the garden may be unpredictable. A mild traditional preparation is not the same as a concentrated oil. A processed commercial product is not the same as a raw seed. The word natural tells you where something came from. It does not tell you whether it belongs in your tea. The real questions are harder. What species is it? Which part are you using? And what happened to it before it reached you? Number 13 looks almost too gentle to belong on this list. Lily of the Valley. Small white bells hang beneath curved stems. The leaves are smooth and green. The fragrance is sweet enough to make the plant feel harmless. It often grows in shaded gardens. People place it in wedding bouquets. It appears in old paintings, perfume bottles, and childhood illustrations. Its chemistry is far less delicate. Lily of the Valley contains cardiac glycosides, including compounds such as convalatoxin. These substances can disturb the electrical signals that keep the heart beating steadily. The first signs of poisoning may look like an ordinary stomach problem: nausea, weakness, dizziness. Then the heartbeat may become unusually slow, fast, or irregular. The plant's bright berries can attract children. Dogs and cats may also chew the leaves or flowers. Even water from a vase containing toxic plant material should be kept away from curious animals and small children. This does not mean you need to remove every lily of the valley from the planet. It means decorative plants should stay decorative. Do not add the leaves to food. Do not make homemade medicine from them. And do not assume a plant is safe because it smells like spring. Lily of the Valley gives us the first rule of this list. Beauty is not a safety test. Number 12 is a plant many people have walked past in parks, gardens, and old churchyards without giving it a second thought. Yew. Yew trees and shrubs are often trimmed into hedges. Their dark green needles remain attractive through winter, which is why they appear in formal gardens and landscaping. Then the red structures appear. They look like berries. That is where curiosity becomes dangerous. Most parts of the yew plant contain toxic compounds called taxines. The red fleshy covering around the seed is different from the seed itself, but this is not a distinction anyone should test by eating the plant. The seed and the green parts of yew can interfere with electrical activity in the heart. The risk is especially serious for grazing animals, dogs, and children who may be attracted to the bright red colour. U poisoning can progress quickly. A person may first feel dizzy, weak, or unwell. The heart rhythm can then become dangerously unstable. There is no safe reason to experiment with the plant, and there is a useful warning hidden here. People often believe that if birds eat a berry, humans can eat it too. That logic fails because birds and mammals process plant chemicals differently. Some birds can swallow fruits that would create serious problems for a person or pet. The bird in the garden is not your toxicology consultant. U also reminds us that a familiar landscape plant may contain stronger chemistry than something sold in a herbal shop. We fear strange plants in the forest. We trust the hedge beside the driveway. The hedge never signed that agreement. Number 11 carries a long reputation as a healing herb, comfrey. Its broad leaves feel rough beneath the fingers. The flowers may be purple, blue, cream, or pink. Gardeners grow it for compost. Traditional practitioners have used preparations made from it on the skin. That history has encouraged some people to drink comfrey tea or swallow homemade products. The risk changes when comfrey goes inside the body. Comfrey can contain pyrrolizidine alkaloids. The liver can turn some of these alkaloids into compounds that damage its own tissue and small blood vessels. This may not produce a dramatic reaction after one sip. That is part of the problem. Some toxic effects build slowly. A person drinks the tea for days or weeks. Nothing obvious happens. The absence of immediate symptoms begins to feel like proof. It is not proof. Liver injury does not always announce itself at the first exposure. This is why internal use of comfrey has been restricted or discouraged by health authorities in several places. External use is a different question. A prepared product used briefly on intact skin does not create the same exposure as drinking comfrey every day. Even then, the details matter. Damaged skin may absorb substances differently. Product quality varies. Long-term use increases uncertainty. Traditional use can point researchers toward valuable plants. It cannot replace modern safety testing. And the sentence, "My family used it for years," does not tell us the species, dose, preparation, or health of every person who used it. Comfrey is not frightening because it creates an immediate spectacle. It is frightening because a person can feel completely normal while assuming the body agrees with them. Sometimes it does not. Number 10 belongs to the mint family, pennyroyal. That family connection lowers people's guard. Mint means tea, toothpaste, candy, a fresh smell in the kitchen. Pennyroyal may smell familiar enough to seem gentle. Its concentrated oil is not gentle. Pennyroyal oil contains peulagon. The liver breaks peulagon down into compounds that can injure liver tissue and affect other organs. Serious poisoning has occurred after people swallowed the oil. The mistake often begins with 4 ordinary words. It is only herbal oil. No, it is a concentrated chemical mixture produced by a plant. Essential oils deserve special caution because concentration changes everything. A small bottle may represent a large amount of plant material. The bottle may smell pleasant. It may arrive with a wooden cap and a label covered in leaves. It may use words such as pure, therapeutic, or premium. None of those words means the contents are safe to swallow. Pennyroyal also has a troubling history of being promoted for pregnancy-related purposes. That is not a harmless traditional trick. It is a serious poisoning risk. If a product is strong enough to disrupt a major biological process, it is strong enough to damage the person taking it. That is not a judgment about tradition. It is a fact about concentration. A weak aroma in the garden and an essential oil in a bottle are not the same exposure. They share a name. The body receives something very different. Number 9 became famous through the weight loss market. Ephedra. For centuries, different ephedra species were used in traditional medicine. The plant contains stimulating alkaloids, including compounds related to ephedrine. These chemicals increase activity in the nervous system. The heart may beat faster, blood pressure may rise, the body may feel alert, restless, overheated, or shaky. In a controlled medical setting, compounds related to ephedrine have specific uses. Inside an aggressive weight loss supplement, the situation may be completely different. The user may not know the true amount. The product may also contain caffeine or another stimulant. The person taking it may already have high blood pressure, heart disease, or an abnormal rhythm. Now the heart receives several instructions to speed up at once. That puts real strain on the heart and blood vessels. Ephedra-containing dietary supplements became associated with serious medical problems. Ephedrine alkaloids were eventually banned from dietary supplements in the United States. Yet products connected to the old energy and weight loss market continue to appear online. Sometimes the name changes. Sometimes the label uses vague terms such as herbal energy or metabolic support. The sales page may look professional. That proves only that someone hired a designer. It does not prove that the contents were tested. This is one of the most dangerous assumptions in the supplement world. If a product is for sale, people imagine somebody must have checked it. Not always. A website can sell a poorly labelled or prohibited product within minutes. A photograph of green leaves is not quality control. A page full of enthusiastic reviews is not a safety study. When a supplement promises rapid weight loss and endless energy, while insisting it is completely safe because it is natural, pause. The marketing is sprinting faster than the evidence. Number 8 can grow taller than a person and turn an ordinary garden into something almost tropical. Castor bean. Ricinus communis has huge star-shaped leaves. They may be green, bronze, or dark red. The seed pods look decorative. The patterned seeds resemble polished beads. Those seeds contain ricin. Ricin blocks a basic process cells need to stay alive. The hard shell around the seed can affect how much toxin becomes available, but this is not something to test by chewing or crushing one. And here comes the confusing part. Castor oil is not the same as a raw castor bean. Properly manufactured castor oil is processed so that ricin does not remain in the finished oil. That does not make the seed edible. The source plant is the same, the final products are not. People hear that castor oil is sold in pharmacies and assume the whole plant must be safe. That would be like assuming crude petroleum is safe to drink because petroleum jelly exists. Processing changes the product. The name alone tells you almost nothing. Castor bean plants deserve special care in gardens used by children and pets. Fallen seeds should not become craft materials. Dogs may chew them. Children may collect them because the patterns look interesting. A seed can be beautiful and still contain a toxin. Nature has never treated those two qualities as opposites. We are nearly halfway through the list, so let us pause for one important correction. The goal is not to make every garden look suspicious. Most culinary herbs used correctly are not waiting to betray you. The real danger appears when a person stops checking because the plant looks familiar, or when a concentrated product is treated like a cup of tea, or when a label is trusted more than the supply chain behind it. Plants are complicated. Marketing often tries to make them simple. That is usually where the nonsense begins. And the plant at number 1 will reveal the most dangerous mistake of all: confusing medical history with permission to make medicine at home. Before that, we need to enter the world of poisonous lookalikes. Number 7 can be mistaken for a popular spring food, autumn crocus. Despite the name, the dangerous confusion often happens when the leaves appear. They may be gathered by people searching for wild garlic, also known as ramsons. Wild garlic is used in soups, sauces, salads, and pesto. Autumn crocus contains colchicine. Colchicine is also a real prescription medicine. Doctors use carefully measured forms of it for specific conditions, including gout. That does not turn the wild plant into a safe source. Inside the plant, the amount is uncontrolled. Colchicine disrupts the machinery cells use to divide. Tissues with rapidly renewing cells can be damaged severely. Poisoning may begin with intense digestive symptoms. More serious effects can follow later. That delay makes the plant especially deceptive. A person may believe the worst has passed. It may not have passed. Cooking does not provide a reliable rescue. Putting a toxic leaf into soup does not guarantee the chemical disappears. Blending it into pesto may make identification harder because the original leaf is no longer visible. Wild garlic has a strong smell, but smell alone is not enough. Garlic scent can transfer between leaves inside the same bag. A person grabs the handful, smells garlic, and assumes every leaf is correct. Each leaf needs to be identified, not the bag, not the bundle, every leaf. One unknown plant can change the entire meal. That is not a reason to stop foraging. It is a reason to stop guessing. Number 6 has caused some of the most serious plant identification mistakes in the world. Poison hemlock. Conium maculatum belongs to the same broad family as carrots, parsley, celery, and parsnips. The family resemblance is dangerous. Poison hemlock may produce white, umbrella-shaped flower clusters, divided leaves, hollow stems, and purple markings. Yet not every feature looks equally clear at every stage of growth. Young plants are especially risky. They may be mistaken for edible wild greens or plants from the carrot family. Poison hemlock contains toxic alkaloids, including coneine. These chemicals interfere with communication between nerves and muscles. Weakness can spread through the body. Movement becomes difficult. The muscles needed for breathing may stop responding properly. The plant does not need a frightening smell or colour. Its greatest weapon is resemblance. A person sees divided leaves. The stem looks familiar. A mobile application suggests an edible species. The plant goes into the basket. Identification applications can be useful for learning. They are not permission to eat something. Lighting changes an image. Growth stage changes appearance. A photograph may miss the underside of a leaf or the pattern on a stem. An application gives a probability. Your body receives the plant itself. A 90% match may sound impressive until the missing 10% includes poison hemlock. And do not assume a plant is safe because it appeared beside vegetables you planted. Seeds move. Wind moves them. Birds move them. Compost and soil move them. The garden does not respect the labels you placed there last year. Number 5 produces berries that can look almost inviting. Deadly nightshade, Atropa belladonna. The berries become glossy and dark. The flowers are often brownish purple and bell-shaped. The plant contains tropane alkaloids, including atropine, scopolamine, and hyoscyamine. These chemicals block one of the body's major communication systems. The mouth becomes dry, the pupils widen, vision may blur, the heart speeds up, confusion and agitation can follow. In severe poisoning, the brain and heart can be affected. Atropine and scopolamine are also used as medicines. That fact does not soften the risk. Medicine uses purified compounds in controlled doses for specific reasons. A berry from a wild plant delivers an unknown mixture without measurement or supervision. Belladonna has also appeared in highly diluted alternative products. The existence of a commercial product carrying the name does not make the original plant safe. It does not even guarantee that every product is manufactured correctly. A dangerous plant can enter the home in several ways: as dried leaves, as a poorly controlled preparation, as contamination inside another product. Once a plant is powdered or placed in a capsule, visual identification becomes almost impossible. At that point, the consumer is trusting the supply chain. That trust should be earned. A herbal label should tell you the Latin name, the plant part, the amount, and the manufacturer. The phrase ancient botanical balance answers none of those questions. Number 4 often grows without being invited. Jimson weed, Datura stramonium. It produces large trumpet-shaped flowers and spiny seed capsules that look like tiny medieval weapons. The plant contains atropine, scopolamine, and hyoscyamine, the same general family of chemicals found in belladonna. The effects overlap, but the story of Jimson weed is different. This plant is sometimes swallowed deliberately because people expect hallucinations. The line between an expected effect and poisoning is not predictable. One seed capsule may not contain the same amount as another. The leaves and seeds may differ. Weather and soil can influence the plant. Even different parts of the same specimen may not match. The symptoms may include a racing heart, hot dry skin, wide pupils, confusion, agitation, and loss of contact with reality. Doctors may call this an anticholinergic syndrome. In simple terms, chemical messages that normally control basic body functions become blocked. The person may no longer understand where they are or what is happening. This creates another danger. They may resist help because they cannot recognize that they need it. There is no reliable kitchen method for measuring the strength of Jimson weed. A person cannot count seeds and calculate safety. Nature does not produce standardized tablets. Anyone claiming to know a safe recreational amount is guessing with someone else's nervous system. Number 3 has a name that sounds as if it came from an old legend, monkshood. It is also called wolfsbane or aconite. The flowers are striking, usually deep blue or violet, with a shape that resembles a hood. Gardeners value the plant because it grows tall and brings colour to shaded spaces. The plant contains aconitine and related alkaloids. These toxins interfere with the electrical switches used by nerves and the heart. Tingling may begin around the mouth or skin. Numbness and weakness can follow. The heartbeat may become dangerously irregular. The plant has a long history in traditional medicine, especially after complex processing. That history is sometimes used online as proof that anyone can prepare it safely at home. They cannot. Traditional processing requires skill and strict control. Even processed aconite products have caused poisoning when the preparation or dose was wrong. This is not a plant for improvisation. The root can look ordinary. The chemistry is not. Aconite shows why traditional names can create another layer of danger. One common name may refer to several species. The same plant may have different names in different regions. A bag sold under a translated traditional name may not tell the buyer enough. Latin names are not academic decoration. They reduce ambiguity. When the wrong species can disturb the heart, ambiguity becomes expensive very quickly. Number 2 grows so commonly in warm regions that people may pass it every day. Oleander. Pink, white, red or yellow flowers can cover shrubs along roads, hotels, gardens and public walkways. The familiar ornamental oleander, known botanically as Nerium oleander, contains cardiac glycosides such as oleandrin. Yellow oleander is a different plant, often called Cascabella favetia, but it also contains dangerous heart-active compounds. The leaves, flowers, stems, seeds and sap can contain toxins. Swallowing plant material creates the greatest danger. The sap may also irritate the skin or eyes. Oleander can disturb both the electrical rhythm and pumping action of the heart. The risk is not limited to someone deliberately eating a leaf. A pet may chew fallen material. A child may handle the seeds. Branches may be used carelessly around food. Whatever dramatic story you may have heard about oleander skewers or campfires, the confirmed fact is already enough. Oleander does not belong in food preparation. There is a modern reason this plant sits near the top of the list. Regulators have warned about supplements in which the expected herbal ingredient was replaced with toxic yellow oleander. Think about that. The consumer did not pick the wrong plant. They did not brew a reckless homemade tea. They purchased a sealed product. The danger was inside the supply chain. That destroys the comforting belief that plant poisoning happens only in forests and gardens. Sometimes it arrives in a capsule with professional branding. This is especially important with products promising rapid weight loss, extreme detoxification, or dramatic metabolic effects. Buy from traceable companies. Check public recalls. Stop using a product if regulators question its identity. A sealed bottle means the cap is closed. It does not mean the chemistry was verified by magic. Now we reach number 1. Return to the kitchen. A person enters a garden looking for an edible or medicinal leaf. Near the ground is a soft green rosette. The leaves look familiar. Perhaps they resemble borage, perhaps comfrey. They are gathered and carried indoors. The leaves are chopped. They go into food. Nothing about the plants tastes like a warning. There is no skull printed across the surface. Later, nausea and weakness appear. The heart begins behaving strangely. The meal contained foxglove, digitalis. Foxglove earns the top position because it combines almost every danger we have discussed. It is common in gardens. It is beautiful. It has a respected medical history. Its young leaves can be mistaken for other plants, and its chemicals act on the heart. Foxglove species contain cardiac glycosides closely related to prescription digoxin. These compounds influence the force and electrical behavior of heart cells. That chemistry helped medicine develop valuable treatments. The useful medicine is purified, manufactured, measured, and prescribed. A doctor considers the patient's heart condition, kidney function, other drugs, and sometimes blood levels. The gap between a helpful amount and a harmful amount can be narrow. A foxglove leaf provides none of that control. Its chemical content can change with the species, the part of the plant, and its growing conditions. One leaf is not a homemade tablet. It is an uncontrolled dose from a living plant. Foxglove poisoning may cause nausea, weakness, visual disturbances, confusion, and abnormal heart rhythms. The heart may beat too slowly, too quickly, or irregularly. In serious cases, medical teams can use treatments that bind digoxin-like toxins. That is how powerful the chemistry can be. And here is the promise from the beginning. A poison found in a garden plant helped guide medicine toward a real heart drug. This does not prove that plants are safer than pharmaceuticals. It proves the opposite lesson. Purification matters. Measurement matters. Medical supervision matters. The difference between medicine and poison is not a romantic story about nature. It is control. Foxglove also shows why photographs of mature plants are not enough. Poisonous, good, bad. The real world is more precise. A plant contains chemistry. The effect depends on how that chemistry reaches the body. That is the insight worth keeping. Not panic, precision. Which of these plants have you seen in your garden, neighbourhood, local park, or herbal cupboard? Write the number in the comments and share this video with someone who still believes natural always means safe. Subscribe for herbal knowledge that respects tradition, checks the evidence, and never asks a beautiful plant to pretend it is harmless.